I think the main one which I can remember when I competed, it was a long time ago now, is it was the World Championships, World Indoor Championships, and being only 5'8", and I was the shortest athlete out there in the 400 metres, and it was the World Championship final. I'll never forget it, is I was very confident that I was going to win the race, but to secure it, to make sure I knew I was going to win before I actually won it, you do these running drills in warm-up, so high knees, you know the stuff, all the high knees and fast foot work and stuff. And it was an American 20 metres away coming towards me in the other lane, doing his drills. So I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into his lane and play chicken. And I started doing these high knees towards him. He's 6'3", I'm 5'8". We got closer and closer and closer and closer, and he got out of my way. So I went, okay, I've beaten him because he respects me more than I respect him. Yeah. So I went, where's the Jamaican guy? Went into his lane, did an exact same, and I intimidated every single athlete in the final. Yeah. And when I went on the track, I went, well, I've won now, because if everyone's fearing me to go out, because they all knew who I was, and I'd run the fastest time in the semi-finals, and I just went, well, I've won this race. And what I learned that day, is, never underestimate who you are. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. I was the smallest one out there, but I was the biggest one in attitude. And, the rest is history. And it was nice winning the world title. My belief is, if you've got talent in the first place, I'd say psychology in sport, I would say, is 70% of it. I'd say 30% is ability. That's how massive I place it. I don't know what the stats are. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but I would say when I felt good on that line, really good, really confident, I would win. It's very rare I would lose if I felt amazing. If I did lose, it'd be to Michael Johnson, because he was more talented than me. It's not because he was better, frame of mind, is because he was better. We can't all be the same talent. And that's why I say, if you've got talent and you can execute that at its best, with the psychological element of that, I think you can dominate. So even people like Usain Bolt, you've seen Usain Bolt lose races because now and then he's not 100% on the line, and it just shows you even the best can lose if they're not prepared. And I only saw Usain Bolt the other day, and he was talking, basically saying about the World Championships when he had the false start, and it's because he was nervous. And everyone can go off the game, so you never can go into a race or any sport when we're going to lose. If you go into that, you're going to lose. You've got to go in at least preparing your body, saying, look, I'm going to win this, I'm going to try my best anyway.
Yeah.
I was very lucky from a mental health point of view. I was always pretty sound in my own ability, and I always used to say to people, I still get it, people come up to me in the street, oh, you're the runner. I used to say, no, running's something I do, not what I am. And I said that at an early age, in my early 20s, and if you can imagine what I'm ultimately saying is, well, it's a job, it's not something which is my everything. And because of that attitude I had, when it comes to the mental health side of things, if I was having an off day, an off month, an off year, pull my hamstring or whatever it may be, yes, I was upset that I couldn't compete, but I'd be like, well, I'll get better. And if I don't, do something else. So I was very, almost like pragmatic about it and just honest with myself. Instead of getting wrapped up into, a lot of athletes, a lot of sports people get a little bit, their ego takes over and they suddenly think, oh, look at me, I've won this and I'm this, and look at, and that can be on a low level to a world championship level. You could be in college playing rugby, you could be in college playing football at that level, and you could be the best kid in your team, and you score a home goal by from some freak nature, you kick it to the keeper and it goes behind, and that could really mess them up. But if they just looked at themselves and say, it's just a game. All you're doing at the end of the day is kicking a football. And I used to look at athletics and go, I'm running round in a circle. It's a bit childish, isn't it? And I used to look at it like that. I used to think, I'm really childish. My job is really childish. I'm trying to get from that line to the finishing line faster than everyone else, like a glorified sports day. And because I had that such blasé attitude to it, I've never had a problem with the fear of losing or winning, or I just used to look at it as a fun thing to do. I feel very lucky. Like I said, running is something I do, know what I am. I was very lucky I adopted that attitude, so my transition came quite easy in relative terms. It was still tough because the hardest thing I had to deal with, and it took me years to deal with it, not just a week or a month, is when I first moved into business, and I would say to you, I've got a great idea, it's X, Y, Z, and you went, no, it's ABC, it's a great idea, not X, Y, Z, and I'd be like, no, and the one thing I couldn't understand is discretion, because in my sport, it's winning and losing. If you cross the line, you win. If you come second, you come second. If you come third, if you fall over, you fall over. It's, if I was the best in the world, you can't tell me, or the rest of the world can't say, no, you weren't that good. No, I was, here's my medal. Whereas in business, it's not like that, and I found that's the one thing I did to find it difficult. I was like, no, my idea is great. So I did find it very difficult for a transition of accepting that other person had a great idea, and it may take me a little while. Not that I was arrogant or conceited to think that I'm the best in everything I do, but I just find it hard if somebody rejected me, I'd be like, why have they done that? So yeah, I mean, generally I think for most sports people when they retire, it's very difficult times, because most people don't have the attitude I've got, and they get so wrapped up and consumed in elitism and trying to be the best they can be. They do find it tough, and I've been surrounded by lots of people who are just on the slag heap then, sort of thing, and I don't like seeing it, and I do feel that psychology in sport and in business, if people get there early, I do feel that these people will lead better lives to finish off.